how did I even get to this place that I think my gray hair, which is natural, is a scary thing? That would be the last time I would ever color my hair. And now that I'm experiencing this freedom, it has trickled into every single aspect of my life. Hello, beautiful, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Amanda Hanson. Please make sure to like, to subscribe, and to share everything here on this page so we can really spread the message of liberation for women in midlife. I want to share a little bit about my personal journey and story into aging and the decision that I came upon almost 5 years ago now to stop coloring my hair. I remember being in this energy for about a year prior to really starting to kind of get to the underbelly of why I was doing a lot of the things I was doing. Because what I noticed is I was on automatic pilot in many ways, just going through my life, doing what the average woman my age was, I guess, it was kind of unspoken, but maybe expected to do, a level she was expected to maintain herself at. And I was in that stream doing all of the things, all of the nail appointments and the eyebrow waxing and the hair dyeing. And so for about a year, I'd been questioning it, really thinking about it. And this profound fear, like really deep primal fear, came up when I started even thinking about abandoning the hair dye. And when I would even begin to try to imagine myself as a woman with gray hair, it was really bizarre how scary it felt. So then I spent a few months really sitting with those feelings and understanding, how did I even get to this place that I think my gray hair, which is natural, is a scary thing? I started noticing profound fear. And I thought, this is fascinating. What about me stopping something as simple and what really I thought would be considered neutral as to coloring my hair? Why is it bringing up so much fear? It was bringing up sadness. It was bringing up fear of rejection. It was having me question, would friends even want to hang out with me? What would my partner think? What would my kids' friends think? What would my kids think? How would it affect me professionally? And then what happened, as I sat in that energy for a while, then I started to get mad. My fear then moved to anger, because I remember looking at my partner and all of his friends, and I noticed that it didn't even seem to be a topic of discussion for them. Entering their midlife space, getting gray hair wasn't even on the table in the same kind of way. I'm not saying that there aren't issues that they're grappling with, but it wasn't on the table in the same way that it felt to be for women. So I started having these conversations. I started asking men about, had they thought at all about coloring their hair as they were starting to age? And most of them laughed. And was like, oh my gosh, it would look so ridiculous if I colored my hair. It would be so weird if I colored my beard. And I thought, it would be so ridiculous, awkward, and weird, and uncomfortable for them. And yet the thought of not for myself felt terrifying and paralyzing and like swimming in the idea of rejection for myself. A couple more months went by, I was still coloring my hair, and then there was this moment where I was actually at the salon getting my hair colored. And I remember looking up at one point, I was on my phone doing something, and I remember looking up and scanning the entirety of the salon and noticing what was happening around me and watching every woman, no one talking, all of the fumes, all of the extra ventilation to whisk the chemicals out of the air so we didn't get them in our lungs to the same extent without the ventilation. And that moment, I can't even explain exactly what happened, but it was as if the switch were turned on. I knew unequivocally with every single cell in my body that would be the last time I would ever color my hair. I knew then that I wanted to try to move in the world as a woman differently. I wanted to see what was available to me, who I would become in the discovery of not coloring my hair. And so when I then decided to not color my hair, a lot of the feedback I was getting was questions around, well, what are you trying to prove? What is the point? how long do you think you'll actually be able to keep this up? You are gonna have someone help you like flesh it out so you don't get the line, right? And I said, no, I'm actually just gonna let it come through naturally. I wanna watch the evolution. I don't wanna bypass any of it. I want to see it happening and feel it happening. And this was something that people were really having a hard time grasping, thinking I was totally crazy. And I often think I'm like the extreme version of being a human. Like when there's anything about humaning, I seem to take it to the more extreme version to really get the experience. I love to like squeeze the juice out of life. And I wanted to really use this as an opportunity for my own growth and development. So my growth and development then superseded my fear. And that was what motivated me to not only stop coloring my hair, but just let it come in very naturally, which took about 18 to 20 months to fully come through. What I found out in that journey, there was nothing to be afraid of. Everything I believed I was fearing prior was a cultural construct. Because I now look back at pictures of myself when I had my hair colored, and I actually feel, it almost feels heavier or darker or something different about me energetically, as opposed to where I am now. The vibrancy and the freedom that I feel now. So I think it's so fascinating that we can absorb cultural messaging and believe that we can't do something because we will no longer be relevant or we will no longer be beautiful. And yet we're so unwilling to counter that. I had a party here for New Year's Eve and I had a whole bunch of people saying to me, oh my God, it looks really good on you, but it would never look like that on me. Oh, you can pull it off, but I'd never be able to. And what I say to that is that anybody can pull anything off. It's the energy behind it. It's the belief behind why you're doing what you're doing. And I was so convicted and so adamant to break, at least in my life, this double standard in aging, that I was in that energy when I decided to walk this all the way out. And now that I'm experiencing this freedom, it has trickled into every single aspect of my life. It's not just hair. It's sensuality. It is the way I feel magnetic. It's the way I feel most connected to my truest self. And so I did it out of an energy of like, at first I was scared, then I was pissed, and then I was in an adamant belief that I was going to break the double standard of aging for myself. And now I'm in an energy of like wanting to share this message with everybody. I want every woman to know about the opportunities that are available to us when we decide to not fall into the belief that something that the world has said we need to do to be beautiful, to be loved, to be accepted is the only way. Now, I'm not here to suggest every woman stop coloring her hair. If you want to color it until the end of your life, fantastic. Absolutely. I'm all for women deciding to do whatever makes them feel amazing. But what I am here to suggest is to get to the like underbelly of why you even believe you can't stop coloring your hair, why you even believe you won't look good, why you even believe that you won't have as many opportunities in love or in business. I've even had people say to me, well, Amanda, if you got divorced, you would start coloring your hair again. You would see. It's really hard out there if you're dating with gray hair. And I absolutely, almost more so, would not color my hair if I were single. Because I want to be the woman who's in a room that energetically matches with a partner in the room who finds gray hair sexy, who finds gray hair powerful, who wants to know the woman that lives inside of that story. I'm not interested in pretending to be something different than I am. And so I would say even to that, if I were single, I would still continue to rock my gray hair because it is a belief system. I decided to believe that it was beautiful. It was my wisdom shining through. And I abandoned any belief or idea that there was anything scary tied to it. And so for any of you who are considering it, I have had so many of you reach out to me saying that my story and my journey has been your inspiration for setting down the die and getting more free. I can tell you it helped me so much more with my health, with my skin, with the way I felt in general, not having all of these chemicals absorbed into my scalp any longer, because all of that's going into our bloodstreams. So if it's something you are considering, I highly encourage you at least give it a try. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts, your feelings about this. I know it's a huge subject for women, but we are the ones who get to create new storylines. We are the ones who get to shine our beautiful silver wisdom in the world and make it mean beauty, make it mean power, make it mean sensuality and freedom. There is so much that is available in your mindset. It's all in what you decide to tell yourself. Thank you so much for being here today. Please, again, remember to like, share, and leave a comment below so I can know how you're feeling about all of this. Love always, Dr. Amanda.